According to the Muslim sources, there's supposed to be a verse in the Quran, or multiple verses in the Quran, about breastfeeding and adults. So what kind of verses are we talking about here, Sam? What is it that's supposed to be in the Quran here?
Well, according to Islam, which is based on the Quran, just to give a little background why there would be this issue of breastfeeding adult, the Quran honors something called fosterage relations. Even though it abolished adoption, fostered relations is honored. What is fosterage? What do I mean by relationship established by fosterage? Well, it was a common practice back then, even now, where let's say your mother suckled me as I was an infant.
So she breastfed you.
Yeah, she breastfed me. And let's say one time would be 10 breastfeedings, and then it was reduced to 5.
But those are both supposed to be in the Quran, right? One abrogates the other.
Yeah. Now, if that happened, then that means she's now my foster mother. You are my foster brother. And your sisters and my sisters are off limits because I'm now considered her child through breastfeeding. Now, a situation arose at the time of Muhammad because, and I have to smile, and again, stuff like this.
There's no helping it, Sam. We're going to be smiling on this one, because, and so is everyone who's watching this who's not a Muslim. Muslims are going to be horrified. Everyone else is going to be cracking up laughing because this is just silly.
This is found all throughout the authentic collection of narrations called Sahih Muslim. Because Muhammad had abolished adoption, and we had mentioned that as one of the reasons why he cannot be a prophet in the previous program, so go back and watch that. He abolished adoption. Now this caused problems because there were Muslims who had adopted children, who are now grown men, who are no longer their adopted children, and now the Muslim men felt uncomfortable having these men in their homes in the presence of their wives. So now how do you solve this problem that Muhammad created by abolishing
So you're
adoption?
worried about grown men being around grown women that they're not married to, and they're got to be close in the same area as each other, so you're worried about them having lust for each other. How are you going to deal with this lust problem?
Well, let me tell you how Muhammad dealt with it. Sahih Muslim, Book 8, number 3424. Sahih Muslim, Book 8, number 3424. Aisha reported that Sahla bint Suhair came to Allah's apostle and said, Messenger of Allah, I see on the face of Abu Hudhayfa, her husband, right, signs of disgust on entering of Salim. Salim was his adopted son, into our house, whereupon Allah's apostle said, suckle him. She said, how can I suckle him as he's a grown-up man? Allah's messenger smiled and said, I already know that he's a young man. Amr has made this addition in his narration that he participated in Battle Badr and the narration of Ibn Umar. Allah's messenger laughed. In other words, he goes, I know he's a grown man, but go ahead, suckle him.
So breastfeed this grown man.
Take this grown man, let him suckle your breast a number of times, then he becomes your foster son, and then your husband will have nothing to worry about.
So this is supposedly based on a Quran verse, right?
Yes.
Where the point is to deal with potential lust between two adults, right? You've got a woman and a man. These two people are going to be around each other. Maybe they work around each other, but they're going to be spending time around each other. How do we keep them from having sex, illicit sex with each other? Well, we've got a solution here. Allah gives the solution in the Quran. She has to breastfeed this man 10 times. So she's going to take out her breast, take him in private, put his face and his mouth on her breast. She's got to do this 10 times, and after she breastfeeds this man 10 times, after she puts her breast in his mouth 10 times, then he'll feel like her son, and they won't have any sexual desire for each other. Now, this eventually got abrogated down to 5, right?
So that's what Aisha said.
So it went from 10 down to 5. This is supposed to be in the Quran, so there's supposed to be a 10, then there's supposed to be a 5. Neither one is in the Quran. Why? Aisha's the one who had these written down, and my sheep came and ate them.
How convenient, right?
Sorry, everyone, that I lost this verse that says I have to breastfeed an adult man if I'm around him anymore in order to do away with the sexual tension in the room. But this is from God, ladies and gentlemen. This is from God,
in fact,
according to Islam.
The next narration that follows this one, 34:24, let me just read the last part to see what happened. She goes, she returned after what Muhammad said and told him, so I suckled him. So she did it. She did exactly what you said she would need to do, and was there in the heart of Abu Hudhayfa, disappeared. So now the husband was happy. Oh, so you suckled this grown man? You gave him your breast to suckle? I'm okay right now, because that means now he's our foster son.
We're all good now. Wow, but you Muslims out there, Everyone else is laughing right now. You Muslims should be either crying or something. But I mean, think about this: if you take Islam seriously, you have to believe that that is God's solution for sexual tension, right? You know, we don't need the burqa in order to do away with that. If a woman's going to be working around a man, it doesn't matter how much she's covered up. If we're going to eliminate the sexual tension, she's got to take him in the back room and breastfeed him a bunch of times to end any of that sexual tension. That's what your God revealed. But I would say anyone can recognize there's no way God revealed that, because that is not, God knows that's not true. God knows that's not how things work between men and women.